All right, a little bit of a different video today. I want to make this a weekly reoccurring show where we do the best games of the week every Friday, talk about them, make predictions, and then bring up some of the best bets of the week. And I'm no expert. Definitely don't take my advice betting. This is just one man's opinion. I do a bit of research, and these are the games that I'm going to play myself that I will highlight for you. But don't take my advice. I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm going to also highlight the most watchable game of the week. Every time I do this show, I want to start with, well, I'm going to highlight maybe 5 or 6 of my favorite games that are kind of must-watch games, in my opinion. We're going to start from the least watchable and end with the most watchable. And then after that, we're always going to pick the most important game of the week, which is the Texas A&M game. But we'll start with LSU, Florida State. This is a neutral site game. LSU's first game with Brian Kelly as coach. FSU actually played last week, so they had a bit of a dress rehearsal. They're not going to be going out there for the first time, which I think can be kind of significant. I mean, you get to try it. You get the trial run. You've gone through a game week with this year's iteration of the team, and you've done it before, and I think that's a huge advantage. This game is in Louisiana. It's neutral site. They're going to have to travel to a different stadium. But as far as crowd is concerned, it's going to be a very pro LSU crowd. I would not be surprised if there is a very strong FSU presence, being that they're a huge brand and it's not that far from Florida. So it's going to be kind of like a 60-40 split, I would assume. I think LSU is going to be pretty good this year. I think they're going to be in contention for winning 8 or 9 games. I think Brian Kelly's a good coach. He's a good enough coach to make them competitive. I don't know about winning anything, but he will definitely make them competitive year after year, especially with the talent that's available to LSU. And I think he gets things started off on a good note. I think LSU is going to take this one. I think we're going to see the new quarterback. I think he's pretty mobile. I think his name is Jaden McDaniels. Was at Arizona State before. A lot of people are down on him. I actually like some of the tape I've seen on him, but I'm excited to see him versus SEC competition. I think he could be a fun quarterback to watch, but I'm taking LSU in this one. I'm not putting any money on this game. Next, we got one of the better ranking matchups of the weekend. I don't necessarily think it'll be that close. Oregon is Dan Lanning. It's a new coach. It's a new system. They lose a bit on defense, and I just don't think they have the troops to keep up with Georgia, even though Georgia obviously lost a ton to the NFL. I think Georgia's offense is going to be very underrated. It is very underrated. I think it's going to be better than expected this year. I think their tight end tandem, it's like a 3-deep tight end rotation of guys that are like NFL ready now. So it's a powerful offense. I'm not sure if Georgia covers, but I think they get right around that 17-point margin. And obviously, I'm taking Georgia. I think that's a pretty easy pick. And obviously, it's not one of my most anticipated games. It's only the second one I picked. Then we have Notre Dame at Ohio State. And what disrespect. This line has been climbing. Ohio State, I think it started at like 15.5 or maybe even lower than that. I don't know, but I know it's been steadily climbing. 17-point spread, and Notre Dame has a new coach. They have a lot of question marks. A lot of people are questioning why they're in the top 5, let alone the top 10. And I think they feel very disrespected. And how much can that play into things? I mean, you're on the road at the Horseshoe. It's Ohio State's first game of the year versus a top 5 opponent. You're going to get their best shot. And Ohio State is absolutely loaded on the offensive skill position side of things. Their lines of scrimmage are kind of iffy. You saw what Michigan and Utah did to them the last time we saw them. They're able to push their line of scrimmage around on both sides of the ball. But I think there's some improvement to be made. I think that was a point of emphasis. I think Ohio State improves, if only marginally, but probably significantly in those areas this year. Everything to play for, everything to work for, everything to earn. I think this is pretty close to a cover. I'm not moving on it, but I'm picking Ohio State easily to win it. And I think they cover, but I'm not confident enough to play it. Now, I'm very excited for this game. This is one of my most anticipated matchups of the weekend. A lot of hype around Arkansas. A lot of hype. More hype than Arkansas has gotten in a preseason in years, and I think it's deservedly so. they're pretty loaded. I mean, they have talent everywhere. They lose their best receiver, but all reports of camp say that their receivers are doing very well. They're going to fill in nicely. I've been saying that time and time again. Cincinnati, I mean, they're going on the road, new quarterback. Arkansas is a very tough place to win. Ask Texas. Texas hated that. I wish A&M would go play at Arkansas because I want to go there. But it's going to be way too much to handle. And at 6.5 spread in favor of Arkansas, this is one of my best bets of the weekend. I love this game. No one is picking Cincinnati to win this. This line has gone up. I actually played it at 5.5, but I'd still play it at 6.5. I think Arkansas is at least 2 scores better than Cincinnati, if not more than that. I think they're going to be too much to handle. I look for them to run all over Cincinnati. I think Arkansas gets this one fairly easily, and I think I'm not the only one who is making this their best bet of the weekend. And now my most anticipated game of the weekend. I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend, so I'm calling it my popcorn game of the week. It's the game you're going to want to get your popcorn out for. This is the one that's on the big screen. If you have your laptop up here, if you have your phone right here, but you got your TV way over here, you're putting this one on the TV. This is going to be the most competitive game of the weekend, in my opinion. It's at the Swamp. It's a top 10 game at the Swamp, not matchup. There's a top 10 opponent coming to the Swamp because Florida is not ranked. But this game is going to be loud. It's going to be intense. It's going to be intriguing because Utah brings a lot back. They have a lot of hype coming into the year with their schedule. If they get through this game, it's a very good chance they're going to end up at least fighting for a playoff spot. But it's an early test. What are they going to do out of the gates? Is Cam Rising going to be able to do anything at the Swamp with SEC talent? I mean, I say SEC talent and I do the quotes because Florida obviously has had some recruiting problems recently under Dan Mullen. They might not be as talented as you'd expect a team like Florida to be, but they have some talent. I think Billy Napier has things rolling there. I think they're feeling good in Florida, and I think this home field advantage is a huge factor. Everyone's talking about the heat, the humidity. I get all that, and I think the humidity will play as a factor, but Utah practices in elevation, so they're getting some kind of interesting stimuli while they're getting practice. But yeah, the humidity and the heat and the crowd are all going to play a huge factor. There's going to be a ton of hype. It's opening weekend. Like I've said before, opening weekend brings hype. A top 10 team coming into town brings hype. Anthony Richardson is looking to make a name for himself because he has all the hype, all the praise, all the potential in the world. Hasn't done a thing yet, and he knows that. He's heard that all offseason. Florida has enough talent to field a good 22-man team. They are not deep. They don't have that many troops. So early in the year, before injuries and nagging stuff sets in, I think you're going to get Florida's best shot. Being at home, Utah is going to really need this game to get their season off to the right foot. Because if they lose this, there's a very low chance they're getting back into this thing. Because if they're losing to Florida, what are they going to do against Oregon and USC? I mean, they're going to have to play one of those teams twice. And I actually have Florida winning this game. I'm looking for a big upset at home to start the game, start the year off for Florida. SEC bias, call it whatever you want. I have an Aggie glowing, an A&M logo glowing behind my head. I'm probably biased. But I just think that's a really tough place to go and play and win week one. And I think the Billy Napier era starts with a bang. And I think it has to do a lot with just being the first game of the year and being at Florida and being a tough place to travel, a far distance to travel. You know, I look for this game to be extremely competitive. I am not extremely confident in this pick as I am in the Arkansas pick, as I am in the Ohio State pick. This is more of a at the margin pick. But I have Florida winning it. So that'll be my most anticipated game to watch. When I get back from College Station, you bet your butt I'll be watching this one on the big screen. All right, last and most important pick of the weekend. The big one. Sam Houston State at Texas A&M. Our Aggies, our fighting Texas Aggies. We finally get to watch them. We've been talking about it. We're excited about it. Let's see what happens. I mean, fielding a very new approach on offense, new defensive coordinator, new defensive line. Go look at my previous videos. Go look at my game one breakdown. You'll get my thoughts on A&M. I'm really just here to give you a score prediction because I'm always going to predict the score in the A&M game. I won't do that with the other games, but I will always pick the score with A&M. So let's see. I have A&M in the blowout, 52-13. It's a conservative blowout. I think A&M does get into the 50s. I believe that there will be some settling in to be done on defense, hence the 3 scores, albeit 2 are field goals. And I think A&M rolls. Sam Houston State is young, but they do have some spicy skill players. Yes, spicy skill players that can get some stuff done. I think it'll be enough for them to get on the board, but they have no chance against Texas A&M, being that they're so young, despite how successful they've been at the FCS level. And they're actually going FBS here pretty soon, so that'll be fun. And finally, I'm going to hit y'all with my best bets of the weekend. I already gave you one, and that was Arkansas over Cincinnati, -6.5. I'm betting that one all day long. And I also like Clemson -21 at a neutral site versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is not good. They haven't been good in a long time. Clemson, this line is built off of the perception that Clemson's offense sucks. And this is obviously my opinion, but I think this line was built off of that perception. And I think a lot of people are scared to put money on Clemson, understandably so. I actually have Clemson winning over 10.5 games on the season. I believe in Clemson. I believe in their talent. I would put them ranked 4 if I had to do a power ranking to start the season, because you know what they are, you know what they've done, you know what they bring, and their only question mark is quarterback. And I think whether it's DJU or Cade Klubnik, I think they're going to have enough firepower. Offensive line should improve. They got great running backs. They have great depth. And I think Clemson rolls versus Georgia Tech at a neutral site. Give me -21 all day long. But that's it. I just want to go over my favorites of the weekend. I want to go over the cream of the crop. I don't care about these other games quite as much as I care about these games. And as I said, they're in order, from least watchable to most watchable. So if you're gonna want to watch some games, you're definitely going to catch the Aggies, and you're definitely going to want to catch Utah at Florida, where we really don't know what could happen in that game. But guys, enjoy the weekend. College football is back. It's going to be a great time. If you're an Aggie, I mean, this could be a fun season. I like that we don't really know what exactly to expect. A lot of guys that have shown us what they can do but haven't been getting full reign, like Haynes King, A-Chain, Evan Stewart. A lot of new blood, a lot of new spice and razzle-dazzle. So we'll see what comes of it. Very exciting times in the world of college football. Check back on Sunday for my next video. I'm going to post a game day vlog. I'm going to the game. I'm going to give y'all a little footage from that. And then I'm going to give y'all some post-game thoughts. And then I'll be back early next week to give my first power rankings of the season. I want to see some games first before I do that. So until then, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the season of college football.